Today we're going to talk about Brecon Hagar, the Big 12 reprimanded him, and just what we should think about all of this, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we are going to talk about Brecon Hagar and whether or not the Big 12 reprimanding him for a thing that he did was the right move. But let me backtrack first. Brecon Hagar is a captain at Texas. And this is important because as a captain, there is a certain level of decorum for which you were supposed to conduct yourself with. And Brecon Hagar doesn't seem to care about that, and neither does Tom Herman, his head coach. Otherwise, I think he would strip him of his captaincy. That said, Brecon Hagar said some outlandish things. Among them was that he was not going to cut his hair until Texas wins a Big 12 title. And you can see that Brecon Hagar's hair is really long. OU fans, specifically on Twitter, have nicknamed him Rapunzel because they don't believe that there's a day coming for when Brecon Hagar is going to be able to cut his hair. That said, Texas has the easiest game to the Big 12 title game in December. All they have to do is beat Kansas. Oklahoma has to beat West Virginia, or West Virginia has to beat Oklahoma. Neither one of those teams believes that it's going to be easy to beat the other team, whereas most folks would pick Texas to beat Kansas. But it goes further than that with Brecon Hagar. This is a guy who said, looking at Patrick Mahomes, 2016, we played at Texas Tech, that's a quarterback that needs to be injured. Come on, man. Look, I understand you play defensive end, and your first job, your last job, your real job is to kill a quarterback. Actually, it's to play run and then pass rush, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Look, you can think that, you can't say that, because we live in a world where the things that we say have weight. The things that we write on Twitter, the things that we say on YouTube, the things that we say on Facebook. And I don't believe that there's a lot of folks that really take that to heart, specifically children. Children play college football. They are 18 to 23 years old. You can call them teenagers if you want to. I struggle with calling them young adults. Some of them are real adults and they act that way, but a guy like Brecon Hagar, who showed up in the post-game press conference where they just beat a good Iowa State team and chose to make it about him. He showed up with a cowboy hat on, sunglasses, and a dip in his lip. And I don't know what the University of Texas policy is on smokeless tobacco, specifically in an athletic setting, but I can tell you that it's not a good look for the University of Texas. It's not a good look for Brecon Hagar. And then he went on to say some more outlandish things like, I'm only going to spend so much time in this interview. Said some off-the-wall stuff about Kansas, and then made it about OU, saying that OU doesn't have a defense, and that it's 11-12 and OU sucks. Now, we all know that the defense at Oklahoma is less than adequate. They know it, you know it, college football knows it. The court of public opinion is going on right now about whether or not Oklahoma would even deserve to be in the college football playoff if it were eligible because of the state of the defense, even though all our offense does is get buckets. Texas also gets to say that they beat Oklahoma 48-45 earlier this year, handing Oklahoma its only loss and perhaps being the reason that it doesn't make the college football playoff even if it wins the Big 12 title game. If you're a Texas fan, yeah, you feeling pretty good about that because you get to thumb your nose. But can you feel really good about a guy like Brecon Hagar continuing to be clownish in what he has to say about other teams, specifically a rival team, and not choosing to take the high road? Now, we can go back and forth on that. Folks on this channel, specifically Texas fans, continue to show up in droves to tell Oklahoma fans what they think and what they feel, along with Georgia fans. And you got some good ones, you got some bad ones. Point here is, I don't think that this is a fight that the Big 12 should have entered into. Just like I don't think that the Big 12 should have entered into the whole horns down controversy, throwing flags. I think that those things are trash talk. I think that the game is for children. It's for the adults who want to be kids, who want to watch football. Trash talk is a huge part of playing football. It's one of the things that I love most about football. It's one of the things that I do on Twitter. It's one of the things that I do here. But if I'm the Big 12 conference, I don't think that Brecon Hagar is impugning the integrity of my game by giving negative comments about a member institution, unless he goes as far as to use profanity or to use blatant hate speech. But he didn't do any of those things. OU fans say Texas sucks all the time. Texas fans say OU sucks all the time. As a matter of fact, if you find an OU fan who does not say Texas sucks, it's probably a Baptist minister who says things like, I'll pray for Texas. Bless your heart. You know, Texas is doing the best they can. And just trying to keep it on a level and take the high road doesn't mean that you root for Texas just means that you root for Oklahoma. And we can go back and forth about horns down. We go back and forth about Brecon Hagar and what he said and how he says it. But at the end of the day, what I really want the Big 12 Conference to focus on is getting better officials. I think we can agree across the conference. There have been some terrible calls. I know for OU fans, we've been raging at Big 12 referees all season because some of these calls just look flat out wrong. And they've looked tacky because there's a fine line between protecting the integrity of the game and enforcing sportsmanship and taking fun completely out of football. And this is one of the reasons why the NBA and basketball continues to pull ahead of the NFL and Major League Baseball is that basketball at all levels embraces the fun of basketball. It embraces the rivalries, it embraces the trash talk, it embraces the internet culture in a way that football just refuses to. It's another reason why I got beef with the NFL, which we'll get into a bit later, but I just think that you have tone-deaf old fogies running our favorite sports who just don't want to get with the times and understand what it means to be a kid saying things to rile yourself up, rile your team up, and saying things that are hurtful and hateful, and we need to be better arbiters about what we think those things are. But in the meantime, get the log out of your eye, Big 12 Conference, and go get some better officials. Till then, leave OU Texas alone. We know how to handle it. It's fine. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.